Here are the top 5 plays for the Battle Mode Friday Night Fights, featuring No Bad Times versus Dude Hell Yeah and Zero Rex. Coming in at number 5 is No Bad Times, showing that dedication to a fight can sometimes pay off, even if you're low on stack. Just make sure you're hitting your shots too.
Might be it, but no, he gets the kill! And that is going to be a ton of free stack. Maybe not, spoke too soon.
All of a sudden, the rockets start hitting, the AI is activated.
Wow.
Got it. Okay, that was...
Number 4 is why teleporters can be both a blessing and a curse, depending on which side you're playing as. When looking for a demon in hiding, they can be sneaky little additions.
Nowhere to be found right now, which he is doing his teammate justice by staying alive and trying to get back. Oh no, he got caught! Oh. Sneaky Phil! Gotcha!
In at number 3 is a perfect use of double hazards in an early stage of Armageddon. A state demons risk being outgunned in due to no upgrades just yet, but with good aim and hazard placement, you can still spring a fantastic trap.
See now there, lots of traps being sprung, 2 separate noxious hazards being spawned, and that's the moment you just make the Slayer feel comfortable.
Our second to last clip is a flawless chase down using the Revenant and Marauder aggression. Right as Zero Rex is weak enough to take down, he tactically retreats and leaves Dude Hell Yeah to solo, but the pressure is so full on that it forces an undesirable position from No Bad Times, who gets caught on the terrain in the midst of the panic, finished by a spectacular mid-air from Dude Hell Yeah.
Defense game, he's going to turn around and do a bunch of damage. Here comes that shield. He still has to try and escape, though he's pretty weak, and oh no! The V-hook, he got stuck on the wall, and the jump pad, he gets punished by the axe throw.
Our number 1 play of this week was exactly why Unstable Trigger and the Hazard are the best of friends with the Revenant. Zero Rex makes an almost full Slayer stack look like it never even existed. Timing is everything.
The main thing you want to avoid. Okay, Revenant, I'd say on the back foot,
Hang on.
but you know what?
Hang on. Oh!
Or flesh.
Oh, that is how you delete.
Tune into the Battle Mode Friday Night Fights every Friday at 7:30 PM ET over at twitch.tv/Bethesda.
No, I can see it now. I can.
That's why we do testing, is so that we know that when we turn on live, that it'll all just go sideways, because this is what happens, because this is a live show. Again, welcome to Friday Night Fights Battle Mode. As Ketchup just pointed out, this is a 2v1 unique id Software design mode that is super competitive, super fun, super awesome, of skill of the Slayer, who's fully kitted. He's got every weapon in the entire kit, minus the Unmaker, and then the BFG is optional as a very third and onward rounds as a power upgrade. And then you have 2 demons that he's up against, which honestly, it's all about the strategy of them coordinating, them being super together. And if you heard that noise, I wanted to point out a little something awesome that we're doing this week in particular. And if you want to walk people through it at home, Ketchup, what is this all about? What is this donation thing we're doing?
I mean, Bethesda at Home, it is a sort of charity activity, for lack of a better term, and a variety of charities are being supported over the course of this time frame. It has been COVID-19 relief and all that stuff. But right now we are raising funds for Save the Children. If anyone wants to get involved in this, you can go !donate or !charity in Twitch chat for all the information that you need. By no means is anyone obligated to show support. If you want to spread the word and share it out, that is much appreciated. If you want to donate towards the cause, that is also appreciated. But every little helps, I suppose, during these trying times.
100%. So again, if you can, hashtag, why do I always want to say hashtag with literally everything on earth? It's bang charity, or it's exclamation mark charity. I like doing bang charity, though. It just sounds like you're really bringing it with like the full force of what you can bring. But speaking of which, we have 3 fighters that we're showcasing this week, and none other than an absolute legend, Kingdime, speedrunner extraordinaire, up against 2 top-tier demons, of which Marooned from New Classic and New Blood Nero Redgrave, of which I am so excited, Ketchup, that we are here tonight, because we have the astute honor and pleasure of presenting these games one at a time. We'll be playing 3 in a row So without further ado, should we just go right into it? Because I see everybody in chat and they feel like they're ready. Are you ready, Ketchup, to get straight into the belly of the beast to go straight into match 1?
I'm always ready, man. I mean, the reality is there should be a decent amount of demon variety. These players being picked because they kind of go against the grain a little bit and use demon picks that you might not expect. And I mean, Kingdime, if you're a fan of Doom speedrunning or competitive style Doom, you've probably heard that name once or twice. Kingdime is a speedrunning legend for the world of Doom. Pretty much every Doom game out there, he's been involved in it in some way, shape, or form, really relishes the classics and really kind of attacks Doom with a very kind of scientist mind. He has been able to take that into battle mode a little bit, though. I know he's been grinding it hard on pretty much every level, and I think we're about time to jump into map 1 and see the fruits of their labor, Tokyo.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, match 1. Let's goosh! All right.
So, Penance.
Yes. Penance, sweet Penance. Okay, first of all, that Archvile just took a sip of coffee, so I'm a little bit worried about what he's going to be bringing to the table with the extra caffeine. But yeah, walk us through Penance here.
Certainly player controlled at the end of the day. I wanted to bring really attention to the fact that Marooned really relishes that Mancubus. And Mancubus, certainly a demon that, you may have certainly seen it in battle mode, but at a higher level, it wasn't really seen as particularly that amazing higher level of play. It was too much of a big target, too easy to spot. There has recently been an update, and these games were captured during that update. However, it was before the Marauder update, so this is kind of like right in the middle. But the Mancubus takes less damage from the Ballista's regular fire. There's a huge amount of damage coming out almost immediately here, though, from Kingdime, who is treating these larger demons as kind of easy targets. It's not particularly difficult to land the shots against them, but worth pointing out about the Mancubus here is that the base projectile is faster. It's better than it was before. An early frag there for Kingdime.
But then blocked. Yeah, he went straight for the meat hook and then hit both a Cacodemon on one side and then the Carcass's shield on the other, so the Noxious Hazard has been set. I always love this move. Ooh, he got caught out, but I love the move of where you set the Noxious Hazard basically on yourself. Try to bait the Slayer in, knowing that the Slayer will take damage to get to you. But end of round upgrades, it is time. Master Carve, no surprise here from Kingdime, bringing out with that chainsaw where it comes out quicker, and basically the regen on getting it back is even faster. Broiling Heat, again, no surprise from the Archvile. And then Quick Smoke. You got to have that smoke, don't you think? Is that a surprise?
Yeah, but I got to point out, and I think that was a mistake my end, that the Quick Smoke description is incorrect. It's going with the Afterburner description for the Revenant, which is an entirely separate demon. The Quick Smoke is all about being able to move fast after you've activated the Smoke Bomb, and that actually is kind of one of those more mandatory options that you can give. Before I can even finish talking about that.
Spicy, and extra spicy. I think there was 3 settings there, and they just used them all. That was such a perfect combination. Again, strategy. They pinned him in such a way where all the DPS came out with the Noxious Hazard. End of life for that. End of round upgrades again. Time. Double down. Really good choice. Always get more equipment faster. Get it back up. The frag grenade is larger. Huge there. Tactician on both demons coming out. Again, strategy-wise, these guys are straight playing 3D battle chess. Live IRL here for us. So what do we think, man? I mean, that was a really quick turnaround from losing round 1. The demons straight bounce back. I think in like record time for Friday Night Fights. I don't think I've ever seen a Slayer deleted that fast. And again, remarkable coming from the fact that this is none other than Kingdime, the speedrunner extraordinaire.
Just want to quickly point out, it seems like, are we getting game audio through the live stream?
We should be. I can turn it up a bit, though. There's
a possibility it might be quite quiet.
How's this? I bumped it up a little bit. I bumped it up.
By all means, I'll quickly pay attention to the chat so we can see. Sorry, I don't mean to get in the way too much of the matches. As you can see, Kingdime is... The big thing about these demons here is that they're a lot easier to hit. So Kingdime's having no issue at all going in with the Precision Bolt, which with the nerf actually to the Mancubus is pretty significant. The buff to the Mancubus and the nerf to the Ballista, I think, is a more accurate term. Precision Bolt becomes way more important because that's kind of like your source of long-range damage.
Bonus boom, though. I love this pick from Kingdime because that is basically saying you get 2 frag grenades. So I expect to see frag grenades on the map at all times as quickly and as much as possible from Kingdime because he is basically, I think, playing this pretty smart, because again, this top kind of like citadel-y area here in Penance where demons like to hide, one of the best things you can do is throw some of those grenades in there, frag grenades, and just let them do some of the damage and try to flush them out of there. Again, really nice backup there, using those frag grenades to his advantage, but that Hell Knight is going to have to get dealt with, and he is handedly there. But now they're pushing in, they're on both sides, they've got him sort of, J.K. Rowling. There's a new novel just been written, and it's called Marooned, The Revenge, because he's got 15 seconds to get back as he just got deleted off the map by Kingdime there. He is firing this ballista with malintent right now. Like, you could see it coming out fast and furious, but the Archvile doing what the Archvile does, which is just such a nice... Well, look at that combo right there. Uses the firewall and then puts Noxious Hazard, and then the Carcass doing what the Carcass does, putting that shield up there, giving him full protect. We've got both demons back on the board, and remember, they both have Team Heal here, so I'm curious to see if they're going to try to do a full recovery or sort of push this here.
I've got to mention, I did not actually point this out until now. One of the big things that Kingdime was doing is the Arbalist from the Ballista. The Ballista's base damage was massively affected against the Mancubus. By the way, that's a clean frag, and
that really is.
Actually, I'm a bit nervous for Nero in this position. It's going to be hard to chase him down. What I was saying was the Arbalist, which is the kind of charged up one of the secondary fires of the Ballista, that doesn't have the damage reduction properties that the primary does. And Kingdime knows that. So what he's doing is, if he's going for the long-range damage, he's just not going for the Ballista's primary, he's going for the charged version, which obviously is going to cost a lot more ammo. So it's a more ammo-intensive way of getting a similar result. That Ballista jump was absolutely delicious.
The fact that he hard-pushed right there in a situation where, when you hard-push a Mancubus, like, you know from the single-player campaign, pushing a Mancubus, pushing a Cyber Mancubus, really, really dangerous, really rough idea most of the time. But again, the confidence there that just came from Kingdime, knowing that he had enough DPS, he had Moon Maroon low enough to make that push. I think it's time to just bring the fighters into the mix. Welcome everybody from Discord, straight out of the internet. First up, Kingdime, can you hear me? Are you with me?
Yep, sounds great.
Okay, I wish you would turn from that computer and look this way, but I understand you're very focused. You're taking this match. You're literally transported yourself back to DoomCon during the stage when you were doing your speed run. Like, I gotta point out one thing that I noticed right away, and I wanted to pick your brain on it because I love seeing it. I only saw it once, but I might have, we're switching POVs a lot, so I might have missed some other ones. I noticed that not only were you using the Arbalist mod from the Ballista, which I love, but I actually saw you doing some Ballista jumps, which reminded me of like those 2016 Gauze jumps. Like, how often are you popping those off, and is that just part of like your natural DNA as a speedrunner that you're bringing into battle mode?
Well, there's like a couple different types of mobility that you can really bring into use. So you've got your dashing and your double jump, and there's also the meat hook off monsters. But the great thing with the Ballista boost is that you don't have to have monsters. You don't have to have that. So getting rid of those requirements is it kind of opens up lots of positions that you can use it. And then as far as utilizing the Arbalist, there was that recent patch, and the Mancubus just takes so much reduced damage from it, whereas that's not the case, I believe, with the Arbalist. So you can get off like 1k damage spikes on it, and it really helps in at least like cleaving down its health.
100%.
I mean, when you look at the original change, I mean, the reason the Ballista had its damage lowered versus Mancubus is that Mancubus was a demon that was kind of stuck in a middle ground, right? Where it was a bit too big and clunky to be a source of DPS like the Marauder or Revenant, but at the same time, it doesn't really serve a tank role because it has nothing besides damage to really obstruct, besides the smoke bomb, which is, it is definitely useful, but it's not got the same purpose that a shield would or something similar. So the Ballista change just means that if the Slayer wants to do it, you have to go through so much more ammo. At least with the Arbalist, and it does massive damage, yeah, sure, but it costs more ammo to do it, which is
true.
If I'm looking at it on paper, I'm personally much happier with that than the Ballista's damage originally. But speaking of Mancubus,
speaking of Mancubus, and being happy about this nerf, this sudden nerf that just so happened to pop up right before the Mancubus main, none other than new classic Moon Maroon. Like, first of all, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Friday Night Fights, Moon. How you doing?
Good. I'm really excited to be here, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Nice, dude, for sure. So, how are you feeling with, okay, obviously you were happy about getting some of your tankiness back? Because I know, the Mancubus, being a big boy that he is, like, you're obviously a pretty big target out there, and you only have so much mobility, although there's some cool mobility options for Mancubus. But, like, what is, like, sort of in that map in Penance just now, like, what was sort of, like, your main strategy when you saw Kingdime utilizing a lot of, like, meat hook and utilizing these crazy-ass ballista boosts, as he calls them?
So when I play the Mancubus, my general strategy is like he is a big target, so he's easy to hit, and he doesn't have any damage reduction other than basically mind games. You have to use quick smoke, you have to use positioning in the map. You have to really choose your engagements. So like his health is twofold. If you want to commit to an all-in, it's really nice to have that big buffer. But over the course of a long match, if you take a lot of free damage through poke, that buffer doesn't really give him the advantage that you want when you pick the Mancubus. But Dime, honestly, he played out of his mind. I felt like I was backed into a corner a lot of the time, and I couldn't get the positioning that I wanted. I think in round two we kind of showcase what the Mancubus can do when he gets the engage that he wants. But Dime really was in control of that first map.
Yeah, I think I blinked and missed round number 2. I was like right when we were in the middle of going over the game audio that got through. By the way, shouts to Twitch chat for letting us know. Thanks a lot for telling us about the audio, and glad we got it fixed. By the time I finished looking at it, Dime was dead, and the round was over.
Yeah.
Power of the Mancubus.
Yeah, speaking of which, I know that right now, Nero Redgrave, first of all, in your avatar, like, beautiful long hair, but more I wanted to point out, like, you're wearing the swaggiest MC Pain outfit I've ever seen in my life. Like, walk us through, so as the Archvile in that, like, in that moment in round 2, like, was that a coordinated push where you guys were like, okay, we're going to surprise the shit out of him here and we're just going to push all in? Or was that sort of like a taking advantage of the situation of, like, his positioning when you guys started?
Well, as Archvile, you always want to keep an eye out when opportunities show up, especially if they ever push a choke point. If you have clear view of them at all and have vulnerable up, and you have Noxious Hazard up, that guy's basically dead, from my point of view. But between us and me and Moon, I'm usually the one doing shot calls during the match. So when I see him like in a spot where we can kill him,
Yeah.
I told Moon, just push now, push now. I'm gonna drop everything, just push, push, push.
I mean, that was the pushiest push I think I've seen, because like Ketchup was just saying, he was in the middle of a point from like 3 seconds ago in that round, and before you could make the point, it was like, wait, I'm sorry, that's actually a reset now. We have to talk about end of round upgrades because what just happened. So I'm really curious to see now in the next 2 matches, like, how these adjustments are taken, because, like, already in round 1, Kingdime played phenomenally. All you guys did, but he had the advantage, and there wasn't like a super stretched out round. In round 2, you guys completely deleted him, and then now in round 3, like, that was by far the longest of the rounds. Almost, I think there was 2 or 3 respawns in that. So now, like, I feel like you guys are making adjustments on the fly so quickly that, like, this is just getting, like, more and more exciting for us. So thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna poof you away for just a second here as we set up the second match of the night. But before we do, again, I've heard some of these come in throughout. I just wanted to give another shout out to this very cool charity, of which I mean, of course, Save the Children. So again, this is a charity that does amazing work regardless of the situation. But right now, more than ever, during this pandemic with COVID, their efforts of helping specifically those in need, and specifically those that are, basically at the most vulnerable state, them being children, of course. I think it's, if you can, you go ahead and hit God, I always want to say hashtag. It is literally, my brain is broken. But if my brain wasn't broken, I would say you go ahead and hit !donate or !charity, and anything you can give, as little or as much, would be greatly appreciated now more than ever. So again, that'll be here the whole stream for you guys. If you can, please do. But back to why we're here for Friday Night Fights, to showcase these amazing fighters. I think it's time just to go straight into match 2, and I'm going to make sure that the volume is just right. Ketchup, I'm going to make sure. I'm going to do it right now. You ready?
I I wish I could say that that's probably going to be the only thing that happens, but my absolute attention to detail is going absolutely ape at the moment because it's worth mentioning. It's definitely my fault. No one else's. Sorry. The quick smoke description is incorrectly described in the end of round upgrades as the acrobat. It's purely just my fault. The source of where I normally have a list with all the different descriptions and stuff, and I didn't realize until now when we're live, which is the best time, that description is incorrect, but the name isn't. So for those that get confused, my bad. We're going to see it for 2 more maps, but now just know now that quick smoke, you go faster when you do the smoke bomb, and that's it.
Yeah,
Right, that's
sometimes
it. Just remember my
sometimes
words.
when you pop the smoke on the floor like a giant ninja, you just get speed. That's just what you do. So we're gonna all be there together. It'll be fine. We'll be good. You ready?
It's
Match
gonna
2?
kill me Let's go. It's gonna kill
Let's
me
go.
every time I see it. I'm just gonna have to brace myself. I'm gonna brace myself.
All right. So map 2 here, changing it up. Where are we at? Where are we at here? What is the arena?
So we're
Set
on
the
Extraction,
stage.
and we have Pain Elemental. So this is all about beef. There's going to be a lot of damage you have to get through, and the natural damage of a Mancubus combined with just the bully properties of a Pain Elemental. I imagine that's not particularly fun to fight against, but the Noxious Hazard is used immediately to kind of stop Dime in his tracks. There's going to be a massive emphasis on the Chain Gun Shield in this matchup.
I'm super excited about this because here on Friday Night Fights, we've seen some really, really good Pain Elementals. I think it was like Matrix and Tenseico went toe-to-toe last week or the week before. It's all running together. But now we have a Mancubus, and the Mancubus wants you in his space because that big boy wants to put those cannons and those flames on you. And so I'm so excited about this because already you can see the Mancubus playing really defensively, and I'm so curious to see if it's going to be a Pain Elemental push where he gets right into that Mancubus range. Because I feel like once you do, if Kingdime is there, it is very, very hard to get out of there because this is a very corridor-heavy and cover-heavy map. There's a lot of damage being put out here, and Kingdime is not having a lot of answers so far. They are basically at full health. My God. This is
Shoutouts to one of the most perfectly placed Kako demons of all time that just hovered around the middle of the jump pad. And this is a matchup with loads of blocking. And, oh, look, there it is. Quick smoke. Yeah, definitely. Do the smoke and you go fast.
The jetpack is in your mind. I think that's what we are implying.
I mean, if the Mancubus had a jetpack, then that'd be another balance patch on the way or something like that. But man, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Of course, you see Kingdime chose dashing because the quick regen on that, you saw that there was an escapability that was really rough on the Slayer side. So now, making a really good adjustment there, he wants more of it and he wants it faster. So what has he done? He's chosen dash. Of course, already there is just so much damage coming out of these 2 demons, though. But Kingdime managed to take down the biggest target on Earth, the Mancubus. And now you see on the back foot, oh my goodness. Okay, so Nero, the Pain Elemental, is on the back foot. However, the Slayer health is low, and the resources are also low. There is a really, really good, like the Hell Knight and the Prowler are both out now, so I'm curious to see. Okay, we got both demons back on the board. So this is a semi-even match. The Pain Elemental still could use a little bit of health, but guess what? The Pain Elemental's got a shield up, because that is basically the ability of which the Pain Elemental, being the fit meatball that he is always ready to deploy and sort of have some protection for. The Lost Souls are coming out. The accuracy is nice. Okay, now we're seeing, of course, the chain gun with that sweet mobile turret. And by mobile turret, I, of course, mean the actual shield. And I think we're going to see some shield on shield, but before we do, he is sneaking and peeking in those shots that Pain Elemental's off the board catch up.
One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when you use the hazard on a shield, it essentially kind of forces it to disappear. And that is why Noxious Hazard is so important against a Slayer that likes to use the Chain Gun Shield as much as they do. We're now going into the next round, Master Carve and Double Tactician. You will see Double Tactician almost every single lineup. It's not necessarily about the demon summons. It's about having longer damage reduction or longer haste, but also longer hazards, longer healing, smaller cooldowns. I mean, the utility as a demon is kind of irreplaceable at this level of play.
And you will see these 2 demons, as they do, coordinate in such a way. I love how you don't see them together a lot because they're trying to keep those sight lines mixed. And again, I feel like the strategy I've seen so far is you see that the Pain Elemental, Nero, is trying to sort of bait the Slayer towards him so that the Mancubus can get that push. But honestly, it's anybody's game when you have Kingdime in there, because the way that he's able to use those Cacodemons is basically like just grapple points any place, anytime he wants. I feel like he's finding the Cacos at the right time specifically for that. But okay, we're getting a push here. It's going shield to shield. The Noxious Hazard is out. He's on the back foot, but guess what? If you get to that Moon Maroon space, ooh, JK! The Moon Maroon space was deleted by Kingdime because he said, not today, not like this.
I love the use of double shield. You know, really consistently, Dime is matching one shield for another, but this is a horrific position to be in. The shield's going to go up to just try and save his skin. We have a little bit of that chainsaw action to just get some of that all-important stack and ammo back up. But this is kind of what you have to worry about with these two demons. They have a decent chunk of HP either way, so Dime has to do so much work, even fresh off the spawn. He's going to take down Moon Marooned for another time, get a bunch of that guaranteed health and ammo back up. But this, by all means, could be the end of the round. Looks like he's making the chase, and Nero is going to go down. The Pain Elemental can be a real bully with that shield, but when it's down, you have to go all in to make sure it doesn't come back.
100%. And Kingdime did a good job there of literally seeing in the dark. When that smoke was up, he was just hitting the Mancubus with reckless abandon anyway. You saw he was using the super shotgun. It's got that really nice spread, and it took care of business. But Sentinel Infused is out now, which is actually always a fun one in the sense that he has gone with basically consistently the idea that he wants a bigger stack, he wants dash faster, and he wants his equipment up. So Kingdime is basically using a more of a evasive defensive build out, I would say, and I'm loving the respect that he's showing the two demons here, because he is seeing that in this small corridor map with these two demons in particular, being nimble and being not basically between the two of them is the name of the game. So we'll see how this plays out here in the third round. We've got 2 wins so far, 2 rounds for Kingdime and only 1 for the demons thus far. But again, the demons get more powerful catch-up every time we get to round 3.
If either side get 1 round each, it's kind of advantage demons, because then that power upgrade really starts to show. The double team heal becomes apparent, and Kingdime, his use of these ballista jumps, I mean, you can tell he's a speedrunner, because those ballista jumps get him from point A to point B without even really needing demons. He said it himself during the interview, and I really do like his use of it. But the aggression, there's that quick smoke, the speed boost activating. Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage in return, though. And looks like Kingdime, he's going to press. He's going to press really hard. Is he going to have the shield? Is he even going to be able to? Looks like Dime's in a pretty funky position.
Oh. And you saw there that they were going toe-to-toe for a second before Moon got that heal. But honestly, if you're going toe-to-toe with the Slayer, you're usually going to be at a disadvantage because, again, this is the fully loaded Slayer. The Slayer has all of the weapons in his arsenal. And honestly, if you're just going rocket volley, I mean the flame volley, you know, based on Kingdime's quick switching extraordinaire that he's doing here, I don't know. I don't know. It could go either way, but honestly, it's advantage demons right now. Ooh, I love that jump and the pull up on the Mancubus. You don't get to see it enough. But right now, I got to say, this is looking like he's trying to restack. Kingdime's trying to basically reset this round, and he's doing pretty decent damage so far to Nero. But again, he's about to become in a situation where all of a sudden he's between these two demons, which is exactly what the demons are going for here with their strategy, I think.
I mean, Nero, he says he's the shot caller, and he's the one that's normally calling out what Moon should be doing. You know, the one in charge, I suppose. It's very common in these team modes. But also, the Pain Elemental, he's the one that can press the advantage. He's the one that can be aggressive. As you can see right now, the moment that Pain Elemental shield comes up, he's in a really good position to force something to happen. But wait a minute. He's pushing really hard. Potentially could be the end of the round here. There's that boost, but no! It's on the wall!
Oh, he paid for it!
End of the round!
He paid for it with his damn life!
No, Tokyo!
That instant boost was so clean, but guess what? Moon Maroon was there to say, would you like to be introduced to these two cannons that are in front of me? Because they have flamethrowers, and I will not hesitate to use them, and he didn't, and my god. Taken off the face of the earth, there was a Slayer barbecue, and everyone was invited.
You know, I feel like if Dime had the opportunity to do that exact encounter again, he probably would have got the round win 10 out of 10 times, but he just had the wrong angle. He had the boost. He was just looking the wrong way when it came to get that one shot. You saw the stack at the end. Moon had like 1 HP left. Well, we have to go into another round now, that final round. Looks like Team Heal's going to get popped. Double Team Heal does mean that you can really warrant going for those double aggressive action sets, because now you have a source of getting health back, and you already have a massive HP count because you're Pain Elemental and Mancubus, for crying out loud.
That's absolutely true. And honestly, It was going really bad there from the beginning in Nero, but he already popped his health, and you know what? He's at a position now where he's healthy enough to push and fight and do those shot calls while he's pushing forward with the shield. And sort of again, like they're doing a good job when they were timing their loot blocks here. They are putting so Kingdime is out of armor. Resources are getting lower. There's a lot of shots coming out of Kingdime. You can see he's using his shield, but as he's being backed up here, he is losing the advantage that he had in the beginning of this round. Okay. Frag's being used again. He's doing a really good job of keeping all the fodder on the floor in the way that they are ready to be chainsawed. They are ready to be a resource for him. But, ooh, I love these poke rockets. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it.
Yeah, remote detonate is all about splash damage. And it's also information. Speaking of information, Dime has plenty of it, but the Cacodemon block! Cacodemon's in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, depending on what side you're on. And it just wasted time. It allowed the two of them to actually escape. That Cacodemon really was the sacrificial play right there.
I'm
shield
saying.
versus shield again. Every time we see a shield, man, we're going to see two shields. Uh-oh.
Oof. Caught that fit meatball, not fit enough to get out of that scenario. But guess what? Marooned is healthy as a damn Mancubus right now because this guy is basically full stack. Again, Kingdime completely out of armor. Haven't seen a lot of Flame Belch come out because he's been going for like full resources of ammo more. You love to see the Noxious Hazard and the backup into that. I think we're going to see, yep, and we are. Both demons are back on the board. Kingdime is now at basically half or less health. The loot blocks are coming out. This is getting hairy. This is getting extremely hairy.
I've got to say, shouts to Marooned and the ranged primary fires he's able to land. He's got a really kind of cracked shot with that. Dime's going to jump down. Oh dear, looks like he's going into the belly of the beast, Tokyo. Oh my word. That's one hell of a way to end a game.
Stars. Again, if there's one lesson that we learned here tonight, it is you don't push a Mancubus, because a Mancubus is ready at all times to burn you alive and just start handing out hot dog versions of you. Let's bring him back. My boy, #1 hot dog in NA, Kingdime. Walk us through the pushes on the Mancubus look so good, but there was always just a hitch here, whether it was the Ballista boost the first time or the second time, even though I felt like you were literally seeing through smoke half of the map where you were hitting him with everything with the super shotgun. Like talk about that defensive play from the Mancubus and basically where your head was at with how to pressure them and win.
I want to talk about round 4 as well. It's pretty much, I think these two questions are intertwined. The end of round 4 when the push was made through the smoke. Dime, run me through it. What happened?
Well, I think you got to remember with the patch is that there's a change in kind of the weapon usage that you're using. Like often it's kind of precision and ballista, but that's not the best case scenario now. Is it's more like precision and rockets, or maybe precision and SSG. But I think the muscle memory kind of killed me there. So I made the push. I saw that Moon was weak, but I went precision and ballista, and that was the end. It was just a big mistake on usage. Moon tanked it and then melted the heck out of me.
I guess, I mean, like, I promise I really don't want to make you feel worse. Absolutely, because you played really well. But it was that final moment, wasn't it? It was the Mancubus. We haven't seen it from Moon's POV, but I hope Moon remembers how much health he has left, because I have no idea. But that had to be like 10, like nothing, like absolute smallest amount. But I guess that's what happens when it's the Mancubus and the ability to kind of just inch out that final piece of damage, and the damage in return can be just as high as a Slayer can dish out if you're both that weak. But yeah,
absolutely.
man.
And you've got Moon. I don't know if he was at 20 or 30 HP, but the thing is, when a Mancubus kills you at the end of a round, it's so frustrating because it's like they're trolling you, they're baiting you because they're just hasting around and like moving their cannons. And, not happy about round 4.
That's totally fair, but Moon, like, okay. Like you had said before, it's like it's all about bait. It's all about getting them to come to you. But can we talk for a second about like your accuracy with your volley on shots? Because I feel like you played so much defensive, like rope-a-dope in that. But there was like I was seeing almost every damn volley shot that you would put out there hitting. Like Like, what is your strat on that? Like, do you like to, is it like a verticality thing where you like to be higher than them and angle them down? Or is it just that like you've had so much practice that like you're literally just in there playing volleyball, just like constantly spiking and setting? Like, what is that about?
I'm really flattered you guys think I have such a good shot. Honestly, I think it just takes a lot of practice. The Mancubus has a really unique projectile. He alternates cannons left and right as he fires, and that actually matters on your surrounding geometry. If you're standing too close to a wall and a cannon comes out of the wrong side, not only will you miss, you'll take splash damage to yourself, kind of like a rocket at your own feet. So getting comfortable with maneuvering left and right around cover and taking your shot is kind of a skill that you'll have to pick up to be an effective Mancubus.
I love
Yeah,
the
makes
Mancubus
total
clinic
sense.
being run right now. I love it so much because honestly, we haven't seen enough Mancubus on Friday Night Fights, and I love that you are bringing full blast like Mancubus main. So thank you for the clinic, Moon. But it wouldn't be possible and couldn't be possible without that pain elemental, that eye in the sky, who is looking so swaggy tonight with that fedora, which Manny called a small hat last night that I couldn't even understand because that is probably the biggest hat a man can wear other than the top hat. Nero, walk us through like the shot calling from Pain Elementals, specifically in Extraction, because it's such a different map as far as like how corridors and how pushes work in that.
It really just comes down to me giving Moon enough information in the regions that the Slayer's going to get put into for him to make the play. Because all I can really do is just poke him down and just try to annoy him into the direction where I want him to go and force him into a situation where he's going to make a mistake, which is unlike Arcvile where you wait instead and wait for your partner to do it. So
Yeah, we could definitely see that you're kind of like the eyes and ears, but the one forcing the issue, right? The moment you had the shield, you were absolutely being the one that was kind of controlling the matchup, I suppose, forcing Dime into those corners, and Marooned was lying in wait. How long does it kind of take to really kind of build up that unique synergy with the Mancubus? Because I know the Mancubus isn't the kind of demon that you see every day. So did it take you guys a while to kind of figure out that flow?
I think not Doom. Moon played Mancubus since day one that I started playing with him. So he's basically been our manker since the whole thing started. And it's just
I love that nickname, by the way.
It's come
Maker
naturally
is
at this
good.
point.
It's good.
It's come naturally at this point where it's just second nature for me to when it comes to working with him.
Excellent.
That's really, really rad. All right. I have one final question for that round in particular, and I need to know this. This is a need to know question, and this is for you two demons, you two strategists up there, standing so still with that fire behind you, not flinching at all. Here's the question: who's spawning cacodemons in that match? Who the hell was it?
I think it was
That's
Moon.
a Mancubus
was
trait.
definitely
Yeah.
Moon.
That's what I thought. Okay, Moon, like, I hope that you're feeding that cacodemon at night some extra portions of dessert, because that thing was doing absolute effing work on that map. Like, every time Moon was trying to use a jump pad, I swear to God, he was getting either body blocked or running up against that cacodemon. And like Ketchup pointed out, there was that sacrificial moment where that cacodemon was straight up like this was the pain elemental, and the cacodemon was like, oh, I'll take it, it's fine. Like, that cacodemon was like, that was like the third player on that map. I swear to God, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was about to say, it may as well have been a third player controlled demon, really.
Yeah, that's what we were saying that entire set. Just man, Cackle MVP every round.
You're so right about that. Actually, what's really interesting to me is that Kingdime forced me to have a playstyle change. I used to run the heal set, which didn't include a Mancubus. I think it comes with like a Prowler and an Arachnotron.
Oh, then a
I
Caco?
think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I think you're right, yeah.
But Kingdime's vertical movement is so top tier that the only viable spawn, in my opinion, against him is Kagademon, because you can follow him in the air. So I really, he's kind of like the glue that holds the Mancubus together against a good vertical slayer.
You love to hear it. That's just some demon synergy. It just makes you feel good. I just look up there at Kingdime and I'm like, I think he's ready for the next match. He will not look this direction. He will not do it, no matter what. He is ready. So with that, I'm going to despawn you guys from Discord just for a moment so we can go into the final round. It is 1-1, and it is just so close. Like, and I love how the rounds, like the way that these are like the gauntlets passing back and forth. It's like it's not expected. Like I don't know every round what I'm going to get.
It is, and I can say with an absolute straight face, Tokyo, that you're not ready for map 3. I don't think anyone's ready for map 3. Load map 3. Load map 3.
Here we go. Map 3. Here we go. We're in there.
That's a Mancubus. Yeah, that's a Mancubus. Oh, that's another Mancubus. Oh, that's a second one. All right, so double Mancubus, boys and girls. Kingdime, I guarantee he's probably not prepared for this.
I'm prepared for this. Chat's not prepared for this. No one in the world is prepared to see two Tankubuses, as I'm going to call them now, because they're on a team together. Just okay. Also, that Cacodemon again causing issues for Kingdime. They're both running Cacos, just like Moon had said in that strategy. They're putting Cacos out there. There's basically 4 demons on the map that are all more or less almost player controlled from the way that the Cacos are floating in the space that Kingdime does not want them to be. He's already used the teleporter. He's at half health. Ketchup, this is not looking too good for Kingdime with this crazy setup of all these tanks coming out here.
I mean, we have to look at the situation. The primary fire is buffed. It's better than it was. It's faster. It's easier to land. Mancubus now takes less damage from Ballista. Both of them are going to be able to absorb Ballista shots from range. If Kingdime wants to go for Arbalist at range, he now has to essentially use double the ammo to get the same result because they're both Mancubus. I actually think that double Mancubus could be way more meta now than it ever has been in battle mode because of the changes. But he's going in for the range, and he knows that Ballista isn't what it used to be against this matchup, so he's going in for the precision bolt instead of the Ballista shot. That said, he's going to run out of ammo, and besides Ballista movement, that Ballista is going to be an Arbalist gun, and through. That's really the only use it's going to serve.
Yeah, because the Arbalist has that nice spicy delayed... Oh no. Oh no.
By the way, you know that quick smoke thing? Look away now. Look away. Look away. There's 2 of them.
Look, it just says quick smoke twice. That's all you have to know. In our hearts, every time the Mancubi jump, they have a little bit of boost, and we're just going to call it a jetpack, even though it's not. We're just going to go with that today. MasterCard, of course, coming out of Kingdime because he needs those resources. You saw he was low on Super Shotgun most of that fight. He was switching a little bit using... I'm wondering if we're going to see more of the remote detonate from the rocket launcher because it seemed to be effective. And obviously, these guys are a little bit slower moving because they're Mancubus. And with that comes, you sacrifice a little bit of that mobility for such a tankiness. And my God, the fire! He's literally in the ring of fire.
Absolute pressure being laid on thick. But ultimately, Dime, he's going to go in for that MasterCard because he needs ammo. He needs more of those Arbalist shots. He needs more super shotguns. But the chase down. Mancubus is so deceivingly fast. So much faster than you would otherwise think because of just the haste, the speed upgrades, and the fact that they both took quick smoke. You add them together, and these demons go incredibly fast. And now it's going to become even scarier because Dime has gone for dashing. He needs to be able to move. But speaking of movement, double tactician, double haste. It's going to be insane how fast these Mancubus can fly around the map.
And you can almost hear those thick boys. You can almost hear it just being like, you go that way, I'll go this way. Like, the way that they just met in the middle there with double flame, like, I am scared and worried for Kingdime. Like, I don't think I've ever thought that the Slayer was in, like, a back foot position right off the bat, but, like, the way that these guys are playing this absolute pressure game of Mancubus, like, I'm worried. I'm honestly worried. Okay. Such a nice version of DPS coming out of the Slayer and then backing immediately up into the teleporter because guess what? It's a back foot game now. These are 2 tanks he's trying to come up against. You can't just walk up to a tank, Ketchup.
I am pretty damn certain that Kingdime was not prepared for this matchup of all of them. I know that when the double jump happens, you have to wait for yours to really land before you can start shooting again. So you have got to be a little bit careful with your damage output. Low ammo, and we've only really just started the round. That's because the Arbalist, that uses so much ammo to go for. It's the big risk, big reward factor. Going to get double glory kills. Unlikely they're going to loot block these. Maybe the second one perhaps, but it is going to waste a little bit of time. Buy some of that time for Dime to get around. Nice little boost. But the goal is going to be just avoid point blank. Probably easier said than done against these 2 demons because of their speed. They listen out for the chainsaw and they go for the loot block. Nero, incredibly weak though. All Dime needs to get for this HP as well, 1 precision bolt and Nero's done for.
And again, he's got to be careful here because Nero can take damage in this lava. He is not safe. And There it is. There it is. It's a 1v1. Now Kingdime can be a little bit more aggressive. It doesn't have to be the pressure game only coming out of them. I don't know why I like seeing a Mancubus take fire damage, but it's just payback. It's what he deserves for causing so much flame damage to the Slayer. A nice Noxious Hazard coming out there to sort of create a barrier between him and the Slayer so he can get his teammate back. Okay, both brutes are back on the map. It is Bouncer Town. What are we going to do?
Oh, he gets the clean Arbalist. And that is why it's so useful against the Mancubus. Wow. It's ammo intensive, but just look at the damage. It speaks for itself. More of the combos coming out. Dime likely to go all or nothing, and he is going to go all or nothing and tries to keep him separated. I mean, he's having a fight for his life, though. I still stand true that I do not think he was prepared for this.
But that was the perfect scenario with the Slayer once, where he basically has him up against a 50-50 back wall. Like, there was nowhere that Moon could have gone to be safe there. Double instant resurrect? Oh,
surely, by doing this, though, double instant resurrect, by doing double instant res, in theory, the Mancubus can just pile in full speed ahead. And if you go down, bam, respawn, rush it down again. The Slayer is going to get stacked, but allow the momentum to keep rolling.
I have never seen this on Friday Night Fights. I have never seen this in a match where I've seen two Mancubus so aggressive, both picking instant resurrect. There is just so much.
They're going instant res. They're going ham, full speed.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that direct from half map away. Impressive.
Oh my god.
Oh, the chokehold's going on. This is the flank.
Such a nice shot. Such a nice shot. And honestly, you see that Kingdime will not accept Cacodemons on this map. He is taking care of them, putting that sticky bomb in their mouth and deleting them off the board. Wow, he's full pushing. He's full pushing.
Didn't they? So there's two Mancubus again.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. We have some things to talk about here, because right away I am just going to spawn from the internet, straight from Discord, all three of you. And before I start with Kingdime, I want to start with you two bullies up there. You two damn brutes. You bullies doing crazy, not having any regard for the Slayer's life. Like, did you guys know that when you played as double Mancubus, which, by the way, thank you, that was the most fun, ridiculous match I think I've seen on Friday Night Fights, period. I have never had more fun watching two bulky boys just go absolute ham. It was just like Chad in the club times 6. Like, did you guys know you were going to go absolute ham, or were you guys thinking, okay, we're going to do some baity stuff here? Because, like, the way that you guys were pushing, I feel like you're getting more and more confident per round. Like, did things change up between, like, shot calling here too? Because, like, Moon is the Mancubus main. What do you call him again, Nero? What is your nickname for that? The Manker? I love it. I love it. So, like, I'm going to start with Moon here. As a Mancubus, having a fellow Mancubus on the map, first of all, like, where is your head at? Do you play differently based on the fact that you know there's another Mankey in there? Or is it one of those things where you're just double confident, you just do what you do, and you know that it's going to work?
Yeah, so you definitely have to play differently, because I think the Mancubus generally relies on another pressure unit to control space so that he can move around the map freely. If you're going to play double Mank, I think really the only option you have is aggression. And this is something that we had kind of practiced before. And honestly, it was Nero's idea to go for the double resurrect. And, you know, I have to say that it fits the aggressive push so well. Yeah, it's a blast to play.
And actually, I want to ask Nero as well, while you're here, then, that the sort of double instant res, we saw it put into perfect practice in that final round, that you went so aggressive at the start, and then when one of you drops, instantly. And I guess, like, I can see in the spectator, it's only 10 seconds to become available, right? So it's almost like you're never going to get caught without it. How much, I know you would have practiced double Mancubus in the past, but is instant res always within that utility kit of the Mancubus practice, or was that something new? Like, how experienced were you using that strat, and how often does it work out for you? We see team heal so often. It's nice to see something different.
Before the patch, or before the nerf to team heal, we would have never dropped off it. But afterwards, it's like, we're gonna die. We might as well die taking them down with us, is my thought process. So it's like, especially considering Mancubus is so volatile, like, if you go in, it's either all or nothing. He goes down or you go down. So if you're gonna go down, I want you back in the second you go back down to go back in again.
Speaking of, like, I was gonna say, like, Kingdime. Okay, First of all, I'm sorry that just happened, because that was the most bullying version of demon strategy I've ever seen. It was just like constant flexing and constant pushing. And I even noticed, like, especially when they both had instant resurrect, it's so nutty because as soon as you would delete one of them and the resources would start coming your way, I almost couldn't even see that the other one was already spawning back in. And then that double burn would come out, basically deleting all the resources you were gathering from even killing the one that you just took down. Like, walk us through that pressure and that literal sweat box you just got put in the middle of the barbecue.
I got to start with the apology. I think I do need one. I got some Mancubus PTSD, like, after that one. But the thing with Mancubus is they're just kind of chilling on the opposite side of the map, and they're kind of playing defensive. But the second that the Mancubus kind of receives the buffs, like with the quick smoke, it's just insane how quick they move, and they put pressure on you, and then you're getting like an adrenaline rush. And like, I think Moon would come and he would flame me up, and then Nero would come flank around the other side, and it's I'm still not quite sure what to do. Like, actually, in the last round, I used Fists of Fury, and the thinking behind that is that they were using double Cacodemon, and Cacodemon is pretty easy to glory kill with the combat shotgun, and I had a great use of it in the last fight where I got the punch off, and it reduces damage by 75%. But the instant resurrect, and like thinking of it after the match, is the other Mancubus just resurrected like right beside and then finished me off. Like, there's so many little details in the last match, even though it was like short and sweet.
I gotta ask, because I still have no idea. Was that matchup something you expected, or were you at all ready for double Mancubus?
No.
It did seem
Not at all.
it did seem very much. I thought you'd say that. It did seem very much like in the first few rounds, it was you kind of had to just find your feet. And I mean, thing is, Dime, to give you your props where they're due, like, you adapted really quickly. Because I imagine that loadout is overwhelming, and can imagine it making things miserable in the general matchmaking. And I kind of low key hope that we see that a little bit more after this. Any of the more observant viewers to copy the strats a little bit. The more Mancubus, the better. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was one hell of a fun map. One hell of a fun map. Thanks a lot, guys. That was good.
Yeah, GG's to all you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Like, I'm seeing Thickubus, I'm seeing Dunkubus, I'm seeing that Ketchup says, "Can I finish?" And absolutely, mate, at any time, forever, for always.
Sorry, I'm a bit fried. I've been commentating Quake all day, and I'm finishing the day with Doom. I would not have it no other way. But in my haste, I did forget something near the end. Obviously, the entire point of battle mode and the Friday night fights is to celebrate you guys, the players, the viewers, those of us that really love battle mode. And every time we finish the show, I always want to give all of our guests their opportunity to give shout outs and thank yous to anyone they want. So starting with you, Kingdime, are there any shout outs you want to give before we finish things up here?
I just got to say thank you to everybody who's watching. There's so many just players that I can see who it's just like you've come up against, and Tokyo and Ketchup for getting this going. You two put in a heck of a lot of work to get it functional. And yeah, if you want to catch what I do with Doom Eternal, you can find me at twitch.tv/Kingdime.
Excellent, man. Thank you so much. Next up, Marooned. Any shout outs, mate?
I want to thank Nero for being such a good partner. He's been a lot of fun to play with, and I've had a great time. I want to thank Kingdime for being such a good opponent, and being willing to play against us in the battle mode. I want to thank Tokyo for being such an awesome dude. He's gone out of his way. He's helped me a bunch of times. He's the man. And Ketchup, I've only just met you recently, but thank you for for everything you do to make this possible. Thank you to my stream community, the people that tuned in. Thanks to my World of Warcraft guild, Tempest, for tuning in. I know you guys are out there. Love you very much.
Finally, last but definitely not least, Nero Redgrave, the man, the shot caller, the multi-demon extraordinaire, by the way. This is the first time I've seen 3 different maps with 3 different demons, so shout-outs to you. But again, any special shout-outs before we finish up the show, mate?
I want to shout out Bite Me, because he was actually the one who got me into New Classic. So it allowed me to even get in touch with Moon, who also then pushed us to do this the next week or week after.
Excellent.
And also thanks to you guys for even letting us get in immediately after the 0-0 and his friend's fight
That's our
the
pleasure, man.
week before.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys so much again for being here, like for showcasing just how much crazy depth and difference there is, because every week I feel like we see new slayers and new demons come in and just show us even more about, like, we think we know it all. We think we've seen most of the the matchups at this point. And it's not just the fact that you guys went double Mancubus, double Dunkubus, double Thickubus. Like, it's the way that you guys played. It's the way that Kingdime adjusted. Like, this is why we're here. It's to showcase you guys, everybody in the community that's out there that loves battle mode, that loves Doom Eternal. Like, thank you guys for being here. And I'm just so happy that we all did this together. I mean, thank you guys. And before we sign off here, I'm gonna despawn you guys from the internet just for a moment, even though I love you. I'm gonna despawn you for a second, because we do this every week, Ketchup. We do this every single week. And so it wouldn't be right if we just left everybody in chat not knowing exactly what they're going to be seeing next week. So I think it's time to premiere something that I'm very excited about, and it's next week's matchup. Are you ready?
Show it. Let's do it.
All right. If you've played battle mode for 5 seconds, you've run into one of these 3 absolute titans. Like, Zan is arguably, I think, maybe the best Slayer in the game. Like, this guy is literally playing when I go to bed and when I wake up. He's an absolute gentleman, an absolute legend. I cannot wait to see his matches. And of course, he's not going up against just anyone. These 2 demons, Cronid and Conjugates, are basically writing the manual for how to play demons. They're super helpful. They're super great guys. You've seen them in a lot of places, a lot of discords. Of course, with Dude Hell Yeah and Zero Rex, you see them in the Spicy Demons Discord. They are just making and setting metas in this. So this Clash of the Titans on May 22nd, 1 week from today at 7:30 on this same channel, is what I'm just nuts for. Because honestly, like, I think everything has kind of been building to this. Like, this is huge, man. Like, are you even ready? Like, where are you at with this?
The reality is, every time there's a week, I mean, everyone that we've had on this show has been top level battle mode. It's a celebration of the community. It's a celebration of just how deep the mode can be with those that really put the time and the love and the care into it. And, I've been in the competitive space for many years. It's going on about 10 years now, which makes me feel kind of old, which is kind of weird. But anyway, this is the kind of thing where this next matchup is possibly the highest skill of battle mode that we've seen so far. Like, this is going to be thoroughly an all-out brawl. These are some of the absolute best players in the world at this stage, and I definitely think that if you're a fan of battle mode and you're a fan of Friday Night Fights, this one is going to be very special indeed.
I could not agree more. And as we sign off here, which I'm sad to do because it has been a really perfect hour for all of us here together, we are going to pass that baton because that's what we do here. And we're actually going to do it to a player that we haven't done it to before. This is a buddy named Royal Funk, and that's spelled with a PH because he's putting the funk right back in it where it belongs. This is a good lad and a good dude. And what we're going to do here is we are going to say our goodbyes, but don't go anywhere because we keep the party going. We pass the Doom Eternal baton, or the Crucible, as it were. I don't want to mishandle it because I don't want to literally slash Ketchup into pieces. We need to all stay together here. We're going to pass it. We're going to keep going. Ketchup, thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to everyone for watching as always. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody that's here. Stay tuned. We are going to pass this. We're going to raid this. We are going to do this. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys soon.
Oh my god, the Bethesda! Oh my god! Oh my god! Get ready to go! Oh my god! I would have